All right. Welcome to Smart Start Pasco's Facebook Live webinar series. Today we are going to be speaking with Corporal Brian Banner with the Pasco Sheriff's Office Business Crime Prevention Program. I've got Corporal Brian Banner here. Sir, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Brian Banner. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for about 6 years. Started out in detention. I was with the state for a little bit prior to. Worked a couple odd jobs here and there and been here for 6 years. Training unit, detention, worked with the Explorers for a little bit. And then this opportunity presented itself to kind of take over the business crime prevention program for the Sheriff's Office.
So what is the Business Crime Prevention Program? What's the philosophy? Tell us a little bit about it.
The philosophy pretty much is it's the alignment of business interests with the Sheriff's Office, the goal. So every business owner has a goal, whether it be to make money or to do well or to add to the economic growth and development of the county. And the Sheriff's Office has a vision and a goal as well. So the program seeks to align those interests, right? So how can we work with business owners to accomplish their goal while we enforce the law? Working out that conversation and addressing those specific needs.
Okay.
So it's sort of a concierge service for business owners.
So how many different businesses are currently registered or work with you?
Countywide, east to west, north to south, we have 154 registered and growing. There are a lot of businesses in this county. If we can get everyone on our registry, that'd be great.
Yeah, wow, that's good. So what does the program do? So what do you do for the business, but then also how can the business contribute to the success?
Our goal is to diminish crime in the county, right? To have an environment and an atmosphere where businesses can thrive and where citizens can thrive as well. The business owner can just help us to see things through their lens. So as a deputy sheriff, I see things a particular way. I'm not a business owner. I've never been one. I really don't have much ambition to be one. I love what I do. But seeing things through the lens of the business owner from their perspective helps us to better serve them. Just the same, them seeing things from our perspective helps us to do our job, right? There are many things that they can do to kind of help us when we come on scene if they've been a victim of a crime or even in the prevention of crime. That's probably a better idea, which we can probably talk about a little bit later. They can help us to understand the challenges that are before them. They're very unique and specific depending on the type of business they're in. The more we understand that, the more we can address or adjust our efforts regarding crime in the county and hit that nail on the head. And just with that information, we can kind of chart a better course ahead for everyone.
So do businesses, how do they get enrolled? Is it free? Do they pay to be enrolled? Do they reach out to you?
No, enrollment is as easy as you can contact me directly, bbanner@pascosheriff.org. I'll be more than happy to come out or you can send me a contact information. Or there's a link on the Sheriff's Office internet page where you can go ahead and sign up. Basic pedigree information, business name, owner's name, the address, email address. And also there's a little checkbox at the bottom for various offerings, crime tips that we'll offer if you're interested in that, security assessment, and also some verbal de-escalation training for staff. That's preventative, right? Rather than us coming out to an assault or a battery, if we can address those issues or give you some tips to address those issues on the front end, that'd be great. But there is no charge for enrollment.
That's great. I think a lot of businesses could definitely benefit from those services. What secondary services are offered through the crime prevention program that maybe you haven't mentioned yet?
I think I hit all of them. The trends and tips, the seminar, the assessment, and the verbal de-escalation is a big one. We've done that one for GM Financial, for Pasco County Public Transportation staff, for the staff at Sunrise Violence Domestic Shelter in Dade City. Currently working on a project with St. Leo University to put together something for their security staff, especially with COVID and all the Karens out there. We could all use some tips on how to kind of just be a little bit, be nicer to each other, to de-escalate some of that tension and to ease. That's a big, not a seller, but that's a big request that we have, that one, the de-escalation training.
Yeah. So I was with the kids and we were in front of the post office and I saw a gentleman, my kids are in the truck, I'm pulled up front and we're sitting out and a gentleman walks up to cut in line to drop some mail in the blue mailbox. And everybody else is standing outside 6 feet apart. You would have thought that somebody just tried to murder someone's child. I mean, they've gotten to this biggest fight, shouting match. One threatens to go to his truck to grab something out of the glove box. And I'm like, oh, guys, calm down.
That's what's going on, man. I'm in traffic this morning, headed over to 19 to a business, and I have my window down, and it's pretty dark. Maybe it's like 6:30, and I hear two motorists. I'm on 54 by about Trinity, and somewhere there, and I hear two motorists arguing back and forth. I'm kind of shaking my head like, please don't, just be adults and kind of go to work, right? Because I imagine they're going to work. So I ended up, getting behind one guy and then working my way between them. And I just kind of, flashed my lights a little bit, and they got the message. As I said, prevention, right? It's 10 times better I do that than we have an accident and two guys in traffic fighting and the deputies rushing there to help. Prevention is, tensions are high. They're high. So the de-escalation training is a big one that's offered and requested.
Is there a certain size of company that you're willing to go out and do that? I mean, if they have 5 employees, 15, 30, I mean, I know one.
No, sir.
Really, probably.
No, sir. We'll come out for one.
Okay.
What's the power of one, right? So one guy can be and do a lot of good for the county, and one guy can cause us a lot of heartache. So, if it's needed, and if it's just one person, or if it's 100 persons, or 1,000, I'll be there. This is growing and developing, and you did ask a question earlier. Communicate with me, tell me what you need so we can build that product preemptively, right? We'll all do better for 1,000 years to come, as I like to say.
That's great. If I'm a new business, so I just started, because a lot of the people we work with at Smart Start are entrepreneurs, they're getting their business off the ground. So
okay.
They're in the idea stage, or they've got their business plan. Maybe they're hanging their shingle and scraping paint off the floors, and they're getting ready to open their doors.
All right.
If they were to start thinking crime prevention, and actually in their layout of their facility, and when they're actually, what are some things that they should consider just about they're setting their facility up? They have a blank canvas. What should they consider?
Very good question. Very good question. Lord hates the day when the sheriff's office can be a part of that design and construction phase, right? Because it allows us to make recommendations. That's all we can do about where you should place your cameras, right? So business owners spend thousands of dollars on a camera system. I won't mention one retailer here over at Wiregrass, but I'm investigating a retail theft, and the footage I'm looking at is at the top of a guy's head, the crown of his head. So there's some utility in having a camera there. It can capture transaction, but for purposes of identifying who that guy is, I mean, we can't do a show up of a guy's head and say, hey, do you recognize the top of his head? So we want to come out and look at where your cameras are being placed, right? Make some recommendations about some hostile vegetation and strategic location of that vegetation, or where it's advantageous. We want to look at the property, the location of it, the lighting in the area. Make recommendations about the kind of bulbs to use, right? Because sometimes you have footage of a crime, and it's good footage. Well, it's not good footage because it looks like a Yeti running across the street. You have no idea who that is. So just better placement. If your business is located next to another business, perhaps there's some overlapping field of view, right? So I'm going to talk to the guy next to me and say, hey, man, we both have an agenda here. We're both in business, maybe not separate business, but business nonetheless. How can we help each other, right? So my camera is capturing this angle, right? I'm going to angle my camera, you angle your camera here, so there's overlapping fields of view, because those things are all very, very important in investigating a burglary. Something happens on the property in the parking lot, we need a place to begin. And when we have solid footage, I've even gotten with Mr. Electric on that, right? So made some recommendations about where they should put cameras when they're installing them so they're more beneficial. the hours of operation, design and layout, the are you setting up the interior of your business if you have access or field of view of a parking lot? So there's some natural surveillance, right? I don't want to put a lot of advertisements in my window to obstruct the view of the parking lot. If my desk is situated at a particular location in the building, there's a big window. Can I see the parking lot? Those things are deterrents for criminals, or would be, any persons that would think about doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. There's a giant window there and people are watching, right? That gives a second thought. Those are things people take for granted. And instead of spending thousands of dollars again on security, a lot of times just a better layout is extremely advantageous and deters a lot of crime. So those are just a few of the tips.
I think of that when you say those types of things, like my mind goes to the convenience stores, where they have the you can see that you're on camera. You've got the strip that says how tall you are.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could probably do a lot of little things like that without having to, look like you're a locked down business. You don't want, still want to be welcoming to normal folks that
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you want to, prevention is better than cure, and you want to be strategic about just the placement of little things that help to deter. So those are big. Those are big.
And what are the biggest, trends over the last year or two for business owners to keep an eye out for, as far as, things that have kind of been, counterfeit bills or people just what, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Counterfeit bill was one of the big ones. What happens a lot, or what I see a lot, is criminals are out and about and they're looking for opportunity. That's the biggest thing, right? So crime of opportunity. You need a place, you need a time, and you need a willing victim. And that willing victim oftentimes presents the opportunity for criminals. So I think they're just taking advantage of the business owners' maybe lack of complete responsibility for their business, and anything from an open door, anything from like just coming in at what this I see a lot. They'll come into a jewelry store, for example, and they'll case the place. Well, is that business owner paying attention to that, right? The program even would put that jewelry store owner. I've got two over here in Wesley Chapel, actually, Kiefer's Jewelers in Franklin's, where we had some guys come into Kiefer's one day, and the owner there got in touch and kind of put that information out, so other business owners, other jewelry store owners know to be on the lookout for these guys. So just the education, I think, is a big part of it. But by way of trends, mostly counterfeit bills. Those are passed, and yeah, not so much on the business side, but a lot of vehicle burglaries. Yeah.
Is there? Did you say vehicle burglars? Are we just?
Yes.
So is there a way? I know a lot of times from a customer service perspective, you would say, okay, the employees should park their cars in the back so that customers can pull up front. It gives the customer. What's the best practice there to help prevent people from getting your employees' stuff out of their cars I'll lock the doors, right? But it's probably number one.
You'd be surprised how many vehicle burglars we have where the doors are left open. Not a lot of windows are being smashed. Again, it's a crime of opportunity. I have some sunglasses sitting on the seat next to me, 2 cell phones. Some guy walks by and my door's open. Bad enough I left it on the seat. Number 2, I left my door open. That's almost asking for it. Should you be free to do that? Absolutely. But I like to say the manufacturer put a lock on the car for a reason. It's not there for aesthetics. You got to utilize that. And you could, if crimes are going to happen, you could be a victim no matter what you do. So I work at Dillard's or someplace and I park my car and I go inside. My vehicle could be broken into, but whatever I can do to minimize that, locking the doors, number 1, not leaving anything of value in sight, right? That's big. Strategically parking under a light. There are little things. Strategically parking where the camera's angled towards your vehicle, even, right? Those little things help. All right.
Yeah. So what kind of things can I do as a business owner to help my staff and my customers? Like what can I do to maybe equip them to help crime prevention in general?
So I own a business and I'm hiring people, and how can I help them to help me, the business owner, and also the sheriff's office?
Right.
So I think the vision of the business owner and of the sheriff's office are very similar. Again, they want to do business here, and we want them to continue to do business here. The better they do, the better I do. It contributes to the growth and development of the county economically. Um, you and I are having this conversation, and we started talking about kids and all sorts of stuff, and we start to kind of align our interests. And I think once interests are aligned, then the integrity of the deal is sealed, right? There are things that matter to Dan, that matter to Brian, and then once we have that, then we can work together a whole lot better. Your interests become mine. I want to protect your interests, and you want to protect mine. So if I'm hiring, I'm a good business owner. I'm hiring reputable people, some good people. I'm going to get to know them, kind of get to know them personally. Have them develop a sense of ownership for my business, right? So why does it matter to me that Victoria's Secrets prosecutes the people that come in here and snatch and leave? Because I work here, right? Because I live here, because I have to go in there and pay for stuff, right? So once the interest is aligned, and I can get that buy-in and a little bit of education, they have some policies and some SOPs, and we can talk about a little gray area in which they can operate, where I can be notified about what's going on. I can come out and address that real time and put some bad people where they belong, right? So I think hiring the right people is key, and then aligning of interests of the business owner and the employees. As an employee, why should I pick up a piece of paper off the ground, right? I just work here. Why does it matter to me that 2 stores down the street got robbed, right? Adoption of responsibility and a sense of ownership and pride in yourself, the business, the county, right? We all live here. We all work here. If Dan's doing well, then Brian's doing well. The sheriff's office is doing well. The EDC is doing well. It's good all around for everyone. So I think getting to know people, getting to know your employees, and not just on a professional level, but probably personally a little bit, what motivates them, right? I'm going to get more out of them that way, right? They're going to be more better employees. They're going to contribute more to the business and the county overall. That's a lot, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Oh, it's good. It's good stuff. And then, so if a business wants to get involved, I know you said it at the beginning, but just to recap in case some folks started listening late,
All right.
if they want your help and they want help from the Pasco Sheriff's Office Business Crime Prevention Program, what's the best way for them to connect with you all? Is it a website? Is it an email? I mean, the best, most streamlined way for them to connect with you, if you had them the right way.
The most direct way, bbanner@pascosheriff.org.
Okay. Now, right now, I'm typing that into the comments on the webinar. So bbanner@Pasco Sheriff.
If you don't have access to a computer, I'll give you a phone number as well.
All right, what's that?
That's 727-847-5878, extension 2292.
Extension 2292. All right, so I just typed in 727-847-5878.
Yes, sir, that's it.
229.
That's correct.
All right, so I just put that in the comments for people. Now this video will stay on live. People will be able to see this after the fact, not just the folks that are all watching right now.
All right.
One of the questions I always ask are folks that come in and do talks for entrepreneurs, and I end it the same way every time. So I know you said you're not a business owner and you like what you do, you love what you do. But if you could give one piece of advice, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask this question, so you're on the spot. If you could give that nugget of wisdom, one piece of advice to entrepreneurs and business owners in the county, and it doesn't have to be about crime prevention. I mean, this is just your best piece of advice you have for humans.
All right.
What would you tell us?
Man, Dan. One piece of advice. There's only one you. You're the only one that sees life the way you see it. You're the only one that sees the world the way you see it. You're the only one that has that perspective. Share that perspective. contribute, because only you can contribute that whatever that is. I can't do it. My walk is to develop what I contribute and to pronounce and present that to the world. And Dan's doing the same thing, and we're all out here doing the same thing. If nothing else, figure out what that is and understand that only you can contribute that and make that contribution to the world. Collectively, if Brian Banner is the best Brian Banner he can be, well, then I've made the world a little bit better. If Dan Mitchell, I'm sorry, is the best Dan he can be, well, then he's made that contribution to the world. And we need that, right? I think we all need everybody else to be who they can be, the best that they can be. I'm going to benefit from that. You're going to benefit from that. It spirals us all upward, I believe. That's my Snapple fact. Remember those? Snapple would have a fact on the inside.
That's right. Yeah, the Snapple caps. I don't believe any of the Snapple cap facts. They're so far-fetched. I look at the Snapple cap, I disagree. Well, Corporal Banner, I really appreciate you coming on. I know that our community will get a lot out of listening to this presentation. And if anybody needs Corporal Banner and his advice, you've got the information in the comments. Again, I thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Take care.
All right. Take it easy.